Hello, everybody. What is going on? We are here for Week 14 Pick'ems, a day late, but we are here. Had a concert last night, so we were not able to do the Pick'ems yesterday, but we're going to do them as best we can before the Thursday night game kicks off. So if you have been following along and betting along with us and hopefully making some money, you'll be able to do that same thing. Week 13 went a little better, so we'll reconcile that and then get right into week 14. So without further ado, let's bring the boys in and we shall get talking. Gentlemen,
Hello.
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 Are you
Hello.
ready? Are you ready for some week 14 pick'ems?
I'm
No.
still in first place. Hell yeah, I am.
You are still in first
It's
place.
true. It's true.
With that said, we'll pull up the betting sheet here and we can reconcile week 13 here. It was a good start to the morning games for everybody. Obviously Detroit gets that victory and shock the world. I figured it would happen eventually, but I really thought Minnesota would get it done. They played another close game.
Yeah.
As they seem to do here. And then everybody had a good morning. We all picked Cincy, and I just get punished. I either hate Cincy and they win, or I like Cincy and they lose. They just continue to punish me. It's my fault.
But to be fair, Cincy and the Chargers have both been playing. You pick them, they win, or you pick them and they lose. It's just like a toss up.
Yeah,
You don't know
it
which
really
team's
did.
going to show up.
It started in week 10 because in week 9 you picked Cleveland and got it right,
Yeah.
and then week 10, yeah, that was the shift.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then Derek wasn't able to get his Vegas pick in. Baltimore should have won that game. Let's be honest. I don't really understand what happened there, but Pittsburgh somehow squeaks out a victory in ugly fashion. Jacksonville, did Jacksonville things. I don't know what you were thinking there, Bryce, but I like the boldness.
I like I told you off screen or off stream.
Yeah.
When you told me about the Rams when they posted that picture and then they lost,
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be like the Giants again.
Mm-hmm.
But unfortunately, the Jacksonville Jaguars are not a very good football team.
They are not. Urban Meyer needs to be punted directly to the moon.
Oh, speaking of that, did you hear what he said about James Robinson?
About how it's like it was a game flow thing and like.
Well, he said he shouldn't have gone back in the game, and everyone was like, or like the people like, sports people like, well, you're the coach, tell him not to go back in the game.
Right.
Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, it's weird. He's a terrible coach. San Fran is no longer streaking. Seattle came to life a little bit. I guess the kitchen was open on a limited menu for Russ. Somehow he put together actually a decent performance, and doesn't help when a fake punt to start the game gives you an easy 6.
I was losing my goddamn mind in the car. Okay, I was driving home. This whole game was just. I could get into just the typical fan bullshit about like the refs cost us that game, but they really did. Like I had to go back and watch a lot of the highlights. Just the absolute blatant like pass interference in the end zone that could have put the Niners in the lead. There's just so much.
I think that's a pretty good.
That game made me so mad.
I think it's a pretty good talking point too. The refs this year, when it comes to pass interference, have been atrocious. Like, they just miss blatant calls, and then all of a sudden someone touches someone, and it's a penalty. And I'm just like what are we doing? Like,
yeah,
man.
It's tough. It's really tough. Like, I feel like there's always bad calls, and it's so tough. And then the Denver KC game, KC kind of took care of business there. We finally got Javonte Williams being the solo back, though, for fantasy purposes, and that was a beautiful thing.
Oh, he went off, and it was incredible.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it looks like Melvin Gordon's going to be playing this week, so much to the chagrin of all Javonte Williams owners. And then, the Monday night game was ugly. Mac Jones wins a game only throwing 3 passes.
What? Why? Why? Why?
Did you see what Belichick said? He's like, we play him in 2 weeks. I guess we didn't really show him much of the passing game.
They didn't show him anything. Literally didn't show him anything. But man,
yeah.
I wish you would have shown him something, because then I would have had a chance at $1,200.
I know you got screwed. It's unfortunate.
Oh man.
But to end the week, I finished 10-4. Piccadilly finished 8-6. Drizzle finished 9-5. So I mean that we all went positive. I think that's the first time we've all gone positive.
You gotta highlight one more thing before you move on.
Yeah, it's our first all positive week following an all negative week in week 12. But yeah, Bryce got his lock again for 4 straight weeks.
Thank you.
So he still has a 6-game overall lead with locks included. So we have some work to do, Derek, to catch him this week.
It feels good. It feels good. I remember a couple of you talking shit.
We gotta talk shit. It's not fun if you don't talk shit. So, all right, yeah, let's get into week 14 then. So tonight's game, since we are doing it same day, we have Pittsburgh visiting Minnesota. Minnesota giving 3.5. A decently low over under 44.5. I think I actually like the over a little bit in this game. I think Pittsburgh is good for 20 most weeks. So, but I think Minnesota just overall better team. I think right before this, Dalvin Cook was announced in.
Correct.
So he's playing. We'll see if he's on any sort of snap count, and how effective he actually is. But Pittsburgh's awful. I really don't know how they beat Baltimore. I don't know how they beat anybody. That team is just in disarray right now. So I think Minnesota is going to be pissed off. So I'm going to take Minnesota in a bounce back game here. It might help if I have my scenes correct and be a decently okay streamer. But yeah, I'm going to take the Vikings here.
So we're already going to start off strong because I'm taking Pittsburgh.
Ooh, already.
Honestly, after last, you could argue like, oh, what happened? But it's like Baltimore is the worst fucking 3 team, 8-4. Like they were on those like hot streaks of winning so many games, and the whole time I'm like, how? But the thing is, Baltimore's defense is still pretty good. And if Pittsburgh can put up 40 points against that defense, I feel like they're more than capable of bringing or sorry, it wasn't 40, it was 20. It was a 2019 game, my bad.
Yeah.
But even then, like I think they're more than capable of taking that same approach. I guess like the issue then just comes with like Minnesota let Detroit put up 29 points to their 27. So I have a feeling they're just going to do that again, because like they looked awful when they played the Niners. And so I didn't expect them to lose against Detroit, but there was a part of me that was like, if they lose to Detroit, they're probably just going to lose out the rest of the season. And so I feel like that's kind of where this is trending, because their schedule coming up is also not that great. So I feel like it's just going to continue, and Pittsburgh is going to get the win here.
All right. Yeah, one for Minnesota, one for Pittsburgh. Break the tie.
I'll definitely break the tie unless I pick a tie, but I don't think I'm allowed to do that.
I mean, you could pick a tie if you wanted to. There's no rules against it.
Oh my god. Like, we don't have a graphic for that, so I'll wait till we get one of those, boys.
I'll just type it in.
But yeah, I think this is a toss-up. I think these are two they're both fighting for wild cards. I think they're middle of pack teams, obviously. So that would, that's why they're wild card teams. But the Vikings are like single possession in 11 of their 12 games.
Yep.
That doesn't happen.
No.
I don't think this is one of the games that they blow somebody out or get blown out. But I am going to go with Pittsburgh because I don't think they're going to be able to recover from losing to Detroit like everyone thinks they are.
All right. I'm the lone man out on this one. I like it. I'll take the free one game up to start Thursday. That's what I'm looking for.
It might happen in 3 hours that we figure it out, but it's fine.
come back and change our picks.
Yeah. Never happened.
Just
Never
kidding. We all
happened.
picked Minnesota.
All right. Vegas going to KC. KC given 9.5. They looked better against Denver, but still, I don't think they look fully back yet. Vegas kind of a mess. I mean, they lost to Washington at home, which is never a good look. That defense, that it's more that offense actually. I think I don't remember if we talked about it last week, but there's a stat that if Derek Carr throws for 300 yards plus, they win, and if he doesn't, they lose. So basically, that whole team goes the way that Derek Carr goes. Casey's defense, I think, is underrated this year and has essentially kept them in these games when the offense hasn't looked like the traditional Kansas City offense we've seen over the last few years. But I think they may be rounding into form at the right time at the end of the year here. So divisional game in Kansas City. I don't know if they cover that 9.5. I don't love that number. But I think the Chiefs come out and win.
Yeah, a couple weeks ago, Mahomes put up 5 touchdowns and nearly 400 yards on the Vikings. So I do think that the
On the
Vikings are
Raiders,
going to have
but
a
yeah.
lot of. Yeah, you're right. I apologize. On the
I got you.
Raiders,
I got you.
I saw the LV and my brain was like Vikings.
Yes, the Los Vikings.
My brain it does that. But it's they 5 touchdowns, almost 400 yards, or it was over 400. I can't remember. Obviously, Vegas will have a lot of videotape to watch over on that to be like, here's what we did wrong. But for the sake of my fantasy team and me needing to win this week to make playoffs, Mahomes is having another 5 touchdown game, so I'm also taking KC.
What up, Blimpo? Yeah, we started early because we couldn't do it yesterday, and we wanted to fit this in before the Thursday game.
So, I mean, it's going to be a pretty easy pick for me here, but I just wanted to say over Kansas City's last 5 games, their third defense is the best on third downs in the NFL.
That is a recipe for victories.
Yeah, and that they're on a 5-game winning streak. Oakland. I might as well call them Oakland. Las Vegas is trending in the wrong direction with after their bye. They were averaging 25.7 points per game. Now they're averaging only 18. And 18 isn't going to beat Patrick Mahomes. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
So
I think they're just kind of
Casey,
anemic offensively, especially with no Waller. Like, you lose Ruggs, you lose Waller. They just lost Drake. Not that he was really like the lead back, but he's a decent back, good change of pace guy, and like Josh Jacobs is he's okay. But like Brian Edwards and Hunter Renfrow and Deshaun Jackson are all good pieces, but like they're not ones. They're not, alpha receivers. So I just don't see them really being able to move the ball much.
I think the whole Gruden Ruggs thing kind of has had an adverse effect. Maybe it didn't happen right away, but now it's finally catching up to them, and they're playing a superior team in Kansas City.
Yep, that they are. All right, New Orleans visiting the Jets. New Orleans giving 5.5. We're supposed to have Kamara back. Taysom Hill's playing. I honestly don't even know how much that really matters. I know the Jets shocked the world against Houston, and then they did Jets things against Philly last week as expected. So I'm not super concerned in this one about the Jets pulling some weird upsets. I don't have a ton to say on this game. I'm just taking the Saints, and I think that's a pretty easy win for them, even going on the road.
I think the Jets in their last 5 have only put up more than 20 points once. Checking real quick. No, okay. Week 9, they put up 30 against the Colts defense somehow. But then
well, there wasn't
10,
that
17.
That was the Mike White game.
Yes,
it was.
Yeah,
it was. But then we got week 10, they had 17. Week 11, they had 17 again. Week 12, they had 21. But then last week, only put up 18 points. So I don't see them putting up another 30-point game. It is New Orleans, who's kind of just been shaky, but Kamara's back, so taking the full no.
Taking the full no. Taking the full
Taking the
load.
full no.
The Jets are the worst team defensively in giving up points, nearly 31 and almost 31 points a game, and have given up 30 points in their last 5 games, 30 plus. I don't know if New Orleans will hit 30 points, but with Kamara being back, man, I could see him scoring 3 touchdowns just because they have no one else to give the ball to, right? So,
Yeah.
And Zach Wilson, man, he doesn't look to know what an NFL defense is. Like he just doesn't look like an NFL quarterback yet. I know he barely played, but in college anyway. But I just, even if it's a close game, I don't see this being the upset of this week.
No, yeah, no. I don't even see it particularly being a very close game. I think that New Orleans 5.5, probably more should be closer to 7. So I'll probably take New Orleans to cover. Yeah. Oh, what up, Brad? Yeah, sorry we weren't around yesterday. I was doing concert things.
Hey, I was hanging out with him.
That's true. That is true.
We
All
had a good
right.
time.
Jacksonville visiting Tennessee. Tennessee giving 8.5. I've got this one targeted as an under game just because I don't know if there's a lot of offense to be had on either side, even as bad as the Jaguars are, and potential Julio being back for this game. Derek already locking in Tennessee. Not a whole lot to say about this one, so I'll just go ahead and just mark that one right down right now for you.
I mean, there's that chance that this is the game that Tennessee loses.
Well, I think this.
I don't think so.
I think this game, if they win this game, I think it locks in their playoff spot, at least a wild card spot for them. So I think it's really important that they come out good. So I'm also taking the Titans here. I don't know if I feel great about it, but the Jags they're terrible. And if Urban Meyer can't figure out that even after a opening drive fumble by James Robinson that he gives them a better chance to move the ball than Carlos Hyde, I don't know. There's no way they win another game the rest of the year if that's the kind of decisions that you're getting from your coach. So I will be taking the Titans.
It really shows how bad of a coach Urban Meyer is when he doesn't have the best talent on the field all the time.
Yeah.
So maybe he should go back to college where, he can do some things that he probably can't do in the NFL.
Yeah.
With that said, Tennessee by 30.
Tennessee by 30.
All
right, I'll take an alternate spread on that. I'll take them like minus 20 or something. I bet it'll pay out well.
There's no way. It's in Tennessee. There's unless it's raining like the Houston game. I don't see Jacksonville being close at all.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Good.
All right, next game, Baltimore visiting Cleveland. Cleveland is a 2.5-point favorite and has not looked good. Also, Baltimore has not looked good, but I still have faith that Lamar and that Baltimore team can turn their season around. Not even turn; they're still doing fine standings wise, but they just haven't looked good the last 3 games. this is going to be my first upset, I technically by the spread. I think Baltimore goes in there, gets a win. I think Baker is just being held together by popsicle sticks and glue at this point. Like I don't he's like
Was
got his arm in a sling, he's missing weapons. OBJ is thriving in LA without him. Like
Thriving's a big word, huh?
I
A
mean, he's looked
big.
good. He's looked good the last 2 games. Um and compared to what he was doing, it's thriving. But I just don't think Cleveland's very good. I think they're one dimensional. Like that the ball's going to Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt if he's healthy. There's no one that scares you on the outside there. So Baltimore at least has weapons. I know they're missing Marlon Humphrey, but for this game particularly, I really don't see Cleveland winning, even though they're home.
it's such a tough because like the last time they met, it was 16-10, and Baltimore won. But I feel like Baltimore's just gotten worse since that game, but so has Cleveland because like Cleveland put up 40 points on Cincinnati and they haven't broke 15 since. So
Yeah.
I don't know. This was a hard one for me. I'm going with. See, now I don't know. I'm gonna second guess myself here because I was thinking Cleveland, but you just said all those things, and now I feel like I want to
He's
pick
what he did to
Baltimore for
me. He
this.
did this to me last week.
I can be
But it's
very
like
convincing.
this was one of the games that like I really didn't look at, and it's like even using like Sportsline and just looking at the betters on there, like it's split evenly with people picking Baltimore or Cleveland. And this is a tough one. I think in my normal pick 'em, I'll probably just make this one of my lower point games so that if I get it wrong, it won't impact me that much. So I'm gonna go Cleveland.
Taking the Browns to the Super Bowl.
Like Rain mentioned, I don't know what is holding Baker Mayfield together, but man, he must
Sheer
go home
power of
and just
will.
like get like wrapped up in toilet paper or something. I don't know, but
I don't
I,
even know what that means. What does that mean to
I do-
wrap somebody up in toilet paper?
like a mummy because
Oh, gotcha.
he's falling apart.
Gotcha. He just goes into his sarcophagus and just
Yeah.
arises on Sundays to
Yeah,
play.
I probably could have set that up better, but like, who cares? Jesus Christ. Oh my god. Baltimore, they haven't been able to score points lately, but I just don't believe in Cleveland, so I'm gonna take the Ravens here.
Like it. I like it. Um, Whenever we pick against Derek, he always loses. So
That's true.
I think this will be another win for us then, just based on how trends have been. So yeah, I don't even know if they're gonna need to score many points, just because like we talked about, Cleveland's been also terrible. So
Yeah.
all right. Atlanta visiting Carolina. Carolina 2.5 point favorites. I marked this one down as a potential over that I like, just because I think Carolina's defense a little overrated. I think Atlanta will be able to move the ball, and Atlanta's defense is terrible. So I think Carolina will be able to move the ball a little bit. I think you're gonna have, after the bye week for Cam, he'll be more comfortable with the playbook. They fired Joe Brady because apparently he wasn't running the ball enough. So that could mean good things for Carolina, just because Chuba Hubbard should be able to move the ball decently well against Atlanta's D. I don't want to pick this game though. Just I'd rather just pick the over. I'd play the over. But since I have to pick the game, I will be taking. I don't know why I'm picking a cat team, and it hasn't worked out well for me this year when I pick cat teams. But I will be taking the Panthers just because in a toss-up game like this, I'm just going to take the home team, but I'm not really sure which way the game's going to go. I don't have a good feel for it. So
Kind of the same boat.
what
I
up,
could see
Piggy?
Patterson having a good day, but I don't think Matt Ryan will be able to spread the ball enough because I mean the Panthers defense is still pretty powerful, right? Like they tend to stop a lot of things. Um, and Atlanta's offense outside of Patterson is just garbage.
Yeah.
So I'm in that same boat. I'm taking Carolina. I don't trust Cam at all, but I also don't trust Atlanta. So
Dissension is among us.
oh no, he said Among Us.
Among Us. Sus. Sus.
Sus. Bryce pretty sus.
And
Been
this
doing
game
well,
right
Piggy.
here is
How have you been?
where I get Rain to buy me sushi.
What? You think
Because Cordell Patterson is gonna go off.
Gordo Patterson's getting another 4 touchdown game.
Yep.
Are you trying to double down on that bet? Because it's not happening.
No, we're not double down on anything. but we're taking Atlanta to win.
All right, dissension here. Yeah, I mean, I don't feel good about this game. I could see Atlanta winning very easily. So, it's a divisional game. Both teams are out of it. So we'll see. Like if I'm Carolina, do I even want to keep DJ Moore on the field like for an extended period of time? But, yeah, I'm just gonna take the home team on this one and hope for the best. All right, Dallas going to Washington. Dallas is giving 4. They are an interesting team this year. Washington's been really hot. Dallas maybe without Tony Pollard now. Zeke is still banged up. Looks like the receiving core is going to be healthy though. And Washington's cornerback group is not very good. I think there is a little bit of an advantage for Dallas there. There's another game I don't have a great feel for. I feel like Dallas should be a better team, at least based on what we saw earlier in the season than what they've shown the last few weeks here. I think Washington's been playing and overachieving a little bit the last few weeks, and a lot of metrics that like per play, net per play type stuff, they're like negative, and they've just kind of been. That's usually not a good sign of a good team. Basically, like offensive yards per play versus defensive yards given up per play, and they are negative in that category, which usually doesn't mean wins. So I think Dallas really is the best team in this division. I don't necessarily like them with the points, but I think Dallas goes in, probably wins a close one. I think they'll be able to move the ball through the air against Washington. So it pains me, but I will be taking the Cowboys.
Also taking the Cowboys. I feel like this is where the train stops for Washington because they just went on 4 straight. They looked pretty good against Tampa, and they've looked pretty well against the other, the last few games. But Dallas's defense has held like their average points per game has been 22.3, while their points per game is 29.4. Compared to Washington's, which is points per game of 20.5, and their points against is about 24.8. Dallas has just been looking better than Washington has, so I have a feeling this will be a close one, but I think Dallas is going to take it with either a touchdown away or win through a field goal. So
some numbers for you guys real quick. But Prescott seems to destroy NFC East opponents. He's 21-6 against them in his career, and 19-7-1 against the spread. If for those bettors out there,
I like that.
He's also 7-1 against the Washington football team, 6-2 against the spread, with 17 touchdowns and just 1 pick. But also Washington is coming off, 4 straight. Rivera was 2-0 against the Cowboys last year, even without Dak after that injury. I think Dallas is a good football team, but dissension is among us again. And Washington is going to win. And now they're going to win the division.
Oh wow, we have an even another bold statement here. This is a hot take fucking Thursday.
Listen, We weren't
Cordell
here yesterday.
Patterson.
Bryce
I
can
had,
afford it.
I had things to stew a little bit. Already.
Bryce's record means he can afford it.
Yeah, he can make some outlandish picks. Not that this is really outlandish, but he can say that Washington's going to win the division apparently and feel
Wait
good
till we get
about
to that
that.
Chicago game.
Oh boy, I can't wait to hear what you got to say about that. Seattle going to Houston. I forgot to mark this as road favorite. Seattle giving 8.5 to Houston. I hate that line. I hate that line.
I hate this game.
I hate this game.
Kind of. Too.
I think Russ's finger got a little bit healthier. I think we saw him not airmail a bunch of passes last week. I know San Fran was banged up, but he looked just past the eye test a little bit more. They still, I don't know what they're doing with AP and Rashad Penny in their run game, but Houston doesn't have the corners to cover Tyler Lockett and DK, and Tyrod is not playing in this game, so we're back to Davis Mills.
Mills.
There's your interception prop for this week of 2+ or whatever.
Even with Jamal Adams being done for the year.
Yeah, I mean he is not a great safety in my opinion, at least from that standpoint of like making turnovers happen. He's like a come down into the box and basically be a linebacker type strong safety. So I don't, again, it'll probably turn out differently, but I think Seattle just will have too many weapons. So I will be taking the Seahawks in a disgusting matchup between bottom feeding teams.
Yeah, I mean, if you take away the long fake punt touchdown that they had, they only averaged 3.8 yards per play. So like they'll score points in this game, but they're probably going to focus on running the ball.
I hope not, because I'm starting Russ and DK for my playoff life. Because I'm not starting Jimmy G against Cincy's D. So
yeah, I mean, like the good news here is like the Houston offense is just terrible. So I feel like this one's not going to be a high scoring game at all. Honestly, like if I were a betting man, I'd probably take the under.
It's such a small number for an under at 41.5. Like it's so fucking.
I don't know.
Low.
I don't see Houston putting up more than 10 points.
They did just get shut out, so
yeah, I don't see the Seahawks putting up more than 20. So I don't know. But yeah, my pick's still Seahawks. I feel like they're going to take the win, as much as I don't want to pick them after last week. But
yeah, you got to bet with your head, not your heart.
I know.
So you might be right that Seattle's offense might not be able to score 20, even though they looked slightly better last week. But if Davis Mills throws more than 2.5 picks, those might go for touchdowns.
It's very true.
Yeah, it's true.
I didn't have much to say about this game, but I'm glad you gave me a couple talking points there. And with that said, the Texans are terrible.
Yeah.
So we are just gonna take Seattle
here.
They showed that glimmer against Tennessee in the Hurricane game. And those are the only types of games they can win, when it's just like weird conditions. And
but before you move on real quick.
Yeah.
Well, I was just about to say something, then I realized I'm blind. I thought it said Denver at Denver, and I was like, well.
They're just playing themselves. Yeah. We can finally see Melvin Gordon and Javonte Williams duke it out. The winner keeps the starting running back role.
But
yeah, we have Detroit visiting Denver for this next game here. Denver is a 10.5 point favorite, which I cannot believe that shit. Detroit, I mean, I know obviously got their first win last week, but they have also played a lot of close games against opponents that are better than them. So I would probably lean towards the Lions to cover or to get the 10, and I don't think Denver covers in this game, but Detroit just won a very emotional game. I think there's a good chance they come out flat here. Denver didn't look great against KC, but like that game kind of went as expected. Casey's kind of rounding into form, like we talked about earlier. I just think Denver's a much better team than Detroit. Their defense is still pretty good. They should be able to move the ball on the ground against Detroit. So Javonte hopefully gets all of his fantasy followers into the playoffs if needed.
God, I need it. I need it, Javante, please.
But
Please.
I mean, as much as it hurts fantasy, they are a better team when Javonte and Melvin Gordon are both on the field.
Yeah.
It keeps them both fresh. So I think Denver wins, but I do not think that they cover.
Yeah, no, Detroit's gonna burn out after their big win. Denver's just gonna run the ball a bunch, and I don't see Detroit picking up a second win here. So I'm going with Denver as well.
So, despite their 1-10-1 record, they're 8-4 against the spread. So have they been good? No, but in occasions they've been great playing against other people, other teams.
Yeah,
They just can't get that win.
That's why they're covering.
Also, Denver is the only team with a sub 40 point cumulative scoring number, which is points scored plus opponents' points scored, which is crazy, by the way. I think
He's gonna do
two in
it.
a row for Detroit.
Oh my God, you're a madman.
He's doing it.
This is
doing it.
This is the meltdown week for Bryce. He's gonna blow his six game lead on us because he's picking Detroit and Washington.
Well, what if I take Detroit as my lock?
I mean,
and they win.
I mean, it burned Derek on Thanksgiving week, so I'm okay if it burns you as well. All right, we can just skip past this game if we want. My Giants going into LA to play the Chargers. Chargers got a big win against Cincy last week. I think surprising a lot of us. Maybe not surprising people who know what they're actually talking about, but the Giants are probably starting Jake Fromm this week. So I don't know what we're doing as a franchise at this point. The total's 43. I mean, I guess it's possible the Chargers get there on their own. But I don't see Jake Fromm moving the ball. I know the Chargers D is like the worst in the league against the run, but they actually looked better last week because they were playing with such a lead that there wasn't a whole lot of room for Mixon to run or a lot of opportunity. I think we may see the same thing here where Saquon's kind of bottled up and the Giants just won't be able to move the ball. Also, I don't think Kadarius Toney is going to be playing, or he's on the wrong side of questionable again. So I think especially Giants going west to play in LA, I will be taking the Chargers here.
Pretty much everything you said, I'm also taking.
Yeah. I already marked it down for you.
So my only concern here is Keenan Allen and Mike Williams and their COVID situation.
Yeah.
I don't know if Keenan Allen's going to play. I do know that there was a report about Mike Allen's being possible to play. I guess my only issue, I don't know who their backup is. I know Guyton has played well over the last couple of weeks. It might be Elliker, just run heavy game.
Yeah, I mean, Eckler can split out into the slot. He can, he can do a lot of things. That
would just be my only concern. But I do think with Jake Fromm starting for the Giants, I think the Chargers are too much. Hopefully, they have been very volatile and up and down this season. So,
yep.
But I won't be descending here because that would be stupid.
That would be stupid.
The Detroit, not stupid. Picking the Giants would be though.
We'll circle back to that little comment next week once Detroit wins.
Oh man, I really hope not. That'd be really embarrassing for Denver.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not a Denver fan, so I don't care.
I mean, I'm not either. It'd just be really embarrassing. It was really embarrassing for Minnesota. Yeah, I mean, I saw a report because Keenan Allen tested positive like Sunday night or whatever.
Yeah.
And he's vaccinated, so I think there's actually a chance he's gonna play. I didn't see any reports from today though if he tested negative again, so I guess we'll have to see. Ride, you're a Broncos fan. Well, root hard for the Broncos, please. All right, Derek. All your San Fran visiting Cincy, San Fran giving 1.5 points.
This sucks because of how the Cincinnati games have been playing out for us, right? Where
Yeah.
if we pick against Cincy, they're gonna win, but if we pick Cincy, they're gonna lose. So in my heart, I want to pick Cincy so that San Fran gets the win.
Mm-hmm.
But I also, Debo should be back. Not that it honestly really mattered. Like if we were watching last week, like fucking Kittle putting up 2 touchdowns in the first quarter, Jimmy was just Jimmy. Like he had incredible throws, and then he would fucking bomb it for 60 yards, and then immediately throw an interception. But like that was the same thing that was happening with Seattle. Is like they would do something good and then immediately fumble it or throw an interception as well. So it was like I imagine Jimmy could work out some of the kinks there, and he'll probably perform as well as he has been performing. And if Debo's back, he's got one more target. Not that I guess we don't need Debo anymore because we'll just keep throwing all our touchdowns to Kittle, and he'll just power down the out of bounds line for like 30 yards every play. But
it's called a sideline, by the way.
Or the sideline. You're right.
The out of bounds line.
But I think
out of bounds line, picking Detroit.
Yeah,
it's fine.
I'm hoping that the weird Cincinnati curse is over, and they're not going to just randomly perform well and then perform like shit, and they're just going to continue being rough. I feel like their run game, while good, our defense is just better, and we'll be able to hold that down pretty well.
You want me to go?
Yeah.
Okay, I got some stuff for you guys.
I'm ready.
Jimmy G and Joe B are number 2 and 3 in yards per pass attempt. Who would have thought that?
I will say with the Jimmy G thing, that's a lot of Debo doing work after the catch.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. But also, Cincy has scored over 30 points per game the last 6 weeks, but they've also allowed 26 points per game after during that span. I think if their defense can, tighten up, they're probably a pretty decent team. But if their defense keeps playing like they've been playing, I'm not sure that they can beat anybody. So, with that said, and they better not let me down. Swear to God. I swear to God.
2 weeks in a row. Going for it, Bryce.
San Francisco.
Wow, going San Fran. Okay.
You aren't taking Cincy.
So I was actually going to take them. And I'm going through like the PFF shit and looking, and so based on PFF grades, here's some good ones for you. San Fran is 8th in ELO ranking, which is essentially how good are you compared to an average team on a neutral site. So the 49ers are 3.1 points better than the average team on a neutral field. The Bengals are ranked 15th. They are 0.4 points better than an average team on a neutral field. They are ranked 6 and 8 in offensive ranking. The Bengals are 6, San Fran is 8. So essentially just split that and call it even. But then the big kicker in defensive ranking, San Fran's 11th, and Cincy's 23rd in PFF ranking. And Burrow's got the fucking massive pinky, because that thing looked terrible after
that thing ballooned up.
Yeah.
My God.
So that's not going to be healthy going into this game, which could affect his throwing motion and his accuracy, which if he can't get the ball to those receivers, then like what are they doing, right? Because San Fran's pretty good up front, so I don't know if Mixon's going to really be able to do much. And he's sick, not with COVID, but he is sick. And I was reading today that there's a chance he doesn't play. So it could be Samaje Perine. And and maybe Chris Evans if he plays. He's questionable with an ankle as well. So I think the injuries are starting to pile up for the Bengals, and San Fran just lost a fluky game, I feel like, against Seattle.
Yeah.
So I will also be taking the 49ers here, even though that was not when I was looking at these games, that was not originally the way I was leaning until I started digging into some of the stats more here while we're talking. That
So we do have, as of 7 minutes ago, both Elijah Mitchell and Debo did not practice today. I thought I saw that they did practice today, but they did not. Not that that means they're going to be out on Sunday, but
yeah, I mean, Eli Mitchell has to clear concussion protocol, so
right.
like that's his thing. But like they still have Jermichael Hasty, they still have Jeff Wilson Jr., like Trey. So actually Trey Sermon went on IR, didn't he? So they've got Hasty and Jeff Wilson Jr. if Mitchell can't go. So I still think
And
they'll be
Jeff
able to.
was full participant today, so
Yeah, I saw that. So they should still be fine.
Just with Cincinnati's defense lately, they can't stop a leak. So
Yeah, they are a sieve for sure.
yeah, for sure.
All right. Buffalo going to Tampa. Tampa giving 3. Very large over under in this game. The highest total of the week. Um I was very shocked that the game went the way that it did. Even though I picked New England to win last week. That was just a weird game. I don't know if there's any takeaways that you can really have from that game.
Belichick's a genius. That's probably it.
Yeah, I mean that's the Bills though are still like they were in it and probably should have made some more plays and probably should have adjusted their game plan to use Josh Allen's legs more and get their running backs more involved in that blizzardy messy game.
You would think.
You would think. But they just really haven't been good the last 4 or 5 weeks. And I've done it a couple times in the past and I've gone against the Golden God touchdown Tom. I will not make that mistake the rest of the year, so I think I'm just gonna pick Tampa every week without question at this point. So I'll just be taking the Bucks and never bet against touchdown Tom. That's really all the analysis you need for the Bucks.
You need one more thing, but I'll get to it.
Derek looks like he's also taking the Bucks here.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't know. Buffalo just seems to be regressing. Like they've had like a really good couple of years, kind of just like sliding into playoffs when they can. But these last couple of weeks just like have not looked good for them. Even with the Monday night game being like the weird Mother Nature monster that it was, like I don't know. They didn't look like they could handle it, and it was their own home field. Like it's something they should have been used to, right? Like
yeah. Also with no White, like I don't know how they cover Evans and Godwin and Gronk. Like
yeah.
I don't know what their what the plan would be for that, like
Yeah. So I see this being another just easier game for Tampa Bay. I don't see it being a blowout, but I don't think Buffalo has a chance.
So Tom Brady is 32-3 against Buffalo in his career.
Talk about having
Oh
somebody's
God.
number.
With that said, that's all that needs to be said.
Tampa. I also just
But
highlighted this as a underplay too. Like I just don't Buffalo just hasn't looked good. Like I just 53 and a half is a lot of points. Like I don't think Buffalo's got 3 touchdowns in them, to be honest. Like or they have a max of 3. Like I don't think this is a because you need to get to 53, you essentially need 4 plus touchdowns from each team to get there. So I don't see that happening. So I'll be taking the under in that one too.
Look, Knox got injured, and they've just been going downhill since.
And now that he's been back, he had that 2 touchdown game on Thanksgiving, but he really hasn't done much outside of that. So, all right, Bryce, it's your time to shine. I'm ready to hear what you have to say about your Bears here.
Oh, they're terrible. They're terrible.
Like Green Bay at 4.
I mean, what is there to say? Nagy's like 1 in 15 in primetime games, and the next 2 games are primetime. Also, I mean, the team's just bad. Bad coaching. Only good thing about this game for the Bears is Justin Fields will start. But the coaching is bad, so I just don't see them putting him in a good position to, potentially upset the Packers. And with that said, um, another thing, real quick, Rodgers is 1 game shy of tying Barstar for most wins against the Bears.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see this game being like 35-7, 42-10, like Packers. I'd
You
love to take my Bears, man,
you
but we
do
are
see
just
it going that way? Like you think they're just gonna throttle them?
I don't see us scoring. I mean, I hope we do. I hope we keep it close, but I don't. We're just in primetime games under Nagy and against Green Bay. Other than the first game, when we got Mac, we have played terrible. So I just
Yeah.
like.
So for
Yeah,
betting purposes,
I'm so sad about it, but Green Bay's Green Bay, so
I mean, I'm here for it. The worse you guys are, the better that is for the Giants for the draft. So I'm
yeah.
also rooting for the Packers to win. So for
You
betting
can't even
purposes, you
sit
think
here.
Green Bay covers though?
Oh, they're gonna beat it. Yeah, for sure.
Okay, all right. Go ahead, Derek.
It's like you can't even sit here and be like, they're gonna be angry because of what Rogers said during the last game. But like, even if the Bears were angry, they still are awful. Like, even if they like wanted to come out with a vengeance, they're not gonna do shit.
Yeah.
Like, okay, Justin Fields is back. It's just fucking. What is he gonna do?
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah, I saw, and then Montgomery popped up with like 3 new injuries on the practice report, like a shoulder, groin, and a hip, that were not in the early week practice report. So like that's
Yeah.
not very promising.
I mean, it makes sense though with how hard he runs and just like he always trying to get that extra yard.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised by it, but
Yeah, I'm kind of with you guys. Like I just don't see a path for the Bears to get a victory here. Like it's in Lambeau, and under Nagy they've been terrible in Lambeau. It just, there's nothing about this game that would, outside of Rodgers throwing like 8 picks, like I don't see a way that the Bears win. So it should be a really shitty Sunday night game for Bears fans. So they get to all go to work on Monday just pissed the fuck off. So that'll be fun for everybody who works in the Chicago area.
As Bears fans at this point, I feel like they should be over that. If any Bears fan is going into this game with thinking that we have a chance of beating them, I don't know if you have a brain.
I mean, is it just apathy at this point? It's just not even anger. It's just
Right.
pure apathy.
Like, so say it's in the fourth quarter and it's 13-10 Green Bay. I'll be jacked, but
well, based on your
ultimately,
picture, you're always jacked.
yeah. Oh my god. But like,
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
I would never pick them out, right? So.
Yeah. All right. So Monday night time, the Rams going to Arizona. Arizona giving 2. Another high total game at 51.5. This is another tough game to pick. Kyler finally came back last week. They looked good. He looked pretty good against the Bears. It was kind of rainy, so I think he only threw like 16 passes or something like that. Really low passing volume. The spread, probably about right at 2. It's probably a pick 'em. LA looked better last week, but they did what they were supposed to do against the Jags, so of course they're going to look better. But outside of that game, they also have not looked very good. I like what Kyler can do against this defense, even though they are a pretty good unit as a whole. Cup popped up with a toe injury that I saw, so that's not great for anybody who's been riding him to a playoff spot in their fantasy leagues. Yes, Blimpo, Bears are bad. Um, so, but I'm gonna take Arizona here. I don't know what you guys are thinking. I was kind of leaning Rams when I first saw this game pop up, but after watching the Cardinals last week, I think Kyler's back to being healthy. He was running way more than he was before he got shut down for those couple weeks. So I think he's more back to normal.
Just to make it quicker, I feel like we could. This is gonna be a good game. I think just
Mhm.
watching from both sides, like
Yeah.
this is a really good Monday night game. This will just be enjoyable in a football sense.
Especially after
Stressful
that
for
Sunday
you
night.
though.
Yeah, yeah. Well, here's the. I mean, Cup is fine. Like he'll play. I don't think whatever this toe injury is. I don't think it's as serious. So he'll probably play. His matchup is against Byron Murphy Jr. on the Arizona side, who has 248 yards allowed in the slot. Seventh most touchdowns allowed in the slot with 2 touchdowns, I believe.
And he's questionable.
And he's questionable.
Yeah.
And has allowed 27 or more yards 7 times. So it's probably like one of the best matchups Cup has had coming into this week in various teams. Um, so I feel like he's going to be targeted a lot, especially in the end zone. But I also feel like the Rams defense won't be able to contain. Not that I expect him to go off, but I feel like D Hop's going to have a good game, and it's just going to end up being a shootout. So for me, I'm taking the Rams on this
Ooh,
because I feel
okay.
like Stafford and the Rams have kind of figured it out, and they're going to be able to kind of finish out the year pretty strong. And hand Arizona one more loss before they go back to streaking for the rest of the year.
So, so just going back to what Rain said earlier about when Derek picks against us, it made my choice pretty easy here. I was gonna
You
take
guys are
Arizona.
saying that like it happens every week, but it only happened in week 13. I went back to look in week 12. You didn't win a single game that you guys picked because I won the San Francisco Minnesota matchup and I won the Tampa
I
Bay
love it.
Indiana matchup. So
Listen, I'm just talking, recent.
yeah, it happened
recent.
last week, but that doesn't mean it's going to happen again.
I mean, it's gonna happen twice more this
Love it.
week, I think.
I love it. But I was gonna take Arizona anyway. I think they're a better team overall. I mean I could see it going either way, but I think this being in Arizona, I think this is where the home field advantage will help
Yeah.
a team.
Yep. All right. Well, we have a couple dissension picks this week. This was a tougher week than last week, which is always fun, right? And that these close weeks that we have the like worry of going sub 500 are more fun
Yeah.
than the
I threw
last
my
week.
lock in there real quick because my food got here way quicker than I expected it to get
Okay.
here. So I got to go grab that real quick.
Okay.
I'm picking New Orleans. I feel like that's just the strongest. I know usually I go for the meme lock, but this week I kind of want to actually
You want to
win a
actually
lock,
get
so.
one? Yeah.
So I'm going with New Orleans.
And you haven't picked them before, right? Oh, okay. So he's good on New Orleans. That's actually also going to be my lock of the week. I'm also taking New Orleans here. It's just safe to pick against the fucking Jets. Yes, I am copying because he put his in first. Had I talked first, like the plan was, I would have picked New Orleans first, and he would have been copying me. So, how about that? Blimpo, how about that? All right, Bryce, what do you got for me?
What do I got? What do I got?
You got 5 in a row. Is that what you got here?
Yeah.
You gonna pick Detroit?
No.
Okay.
I just gotta make sure I didn't pick this team before.
You have picked Philly, Miami, the Vikings, and the Patriots.
Oh my god, I deleted my thing. That's who we're taking, baby.
Picking Washington. All right. You are trying to pick up the extra win again. Like it. I like the boldness.
You know,
I
I
can't
just
wait to watch the VOD for his reasoning behind Detroit. I'll have it up on
Listen,
YouTube as soon as
it
this is
was a
done.
great reasoning.
Don't
And
ruin
come
it.
back next week so I can
Yeah.
talk shit when Detroit wins 2 in a row.
Yeah. All right, boys. Well, it was fun as always. I'm gonna get this cut up and get ready to watch the game, and we've got a Destiny raid to partake in. So we gotta hop down into that other chat. But I'll get this cut up and put up onto YouTube hopefully in the next like hour or so for anybody who came to hang out and watch. I appreciate it as always. And we should be doing this on time next week. I don't believe I have any weird shit going on, or anybody has any weird shit going on next week. So
I'm getting my booster and flu shot on Wednesday morning, so
okay,
I should be here. But if not, it'll just be pre-populated.
I mean we can always push it to Thursday again if you're not feeling well. So nah, I'm not gonna keep streaming Destiny Blimpo. Maybe this weekend or tomorrow or something while we're doing more horse pleasures. But yeah, I appreciate everybody hanging out and watching. Hopefully the picks go well and one of us goes 16-0. That's always the hope, right? So
Yes, sir.
all right, gentlemen,
Always the
thank
hope.
you and see y'all next time.
Oh boy.
Peace.